One of the #1 things people struggle with when building in The Sims 4 is figuring out a floor plan and layout. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a good floor plan and layout when building in The Sims 4, and hopefully this is helpful. I've done tutorials in the past on building a house, building a mansion, how to get the exterior right, and then people always ask me, okay, I got this part, but what about the inside? So today, I'm going to take this house that I've already pre-built. I'm going to show you how to build a proper floor plan. I'm going to give you tips on how you can make a really great layout and basically how to make the inside of your house work in The Sims 4. So yeah, this is the outside that I've got going on already. I went for like a suburban craftsman style house. I think for the purposes of this video, we're gonna have like a kid's room. So I put a swing set in the back. Honestly, didn't really go into too much detail on the exterior because that's not the point, but on the inside, this is what my house looks like. I tried to go with like a medium-sized house for this, and this is actually where we're gonna start with like the tip portion of this video. Is when you're building your house and you're not really comfortable with floor plans, the best thing you can do is go for like a mid-sized shell. And the reason for this is because if you go too small, you're gonna have a squishy floor plan, which can be really difficult to try and navigate around, or you're gonna build a really big house and you're gonna have too much empty space, you're gonna think you're doing it wrong. So I recommend going for like a mid-sized house to start. And then the next thing we're gonna try and figure out before we even start building the layout is if you want to do the windows first or last. I know some people that prefer to leave the entire house without the windows until the end because they'll revolve it around the inside of their layout. I actually prefer to do the opposite and do the windows first, and then my interior kind of works around them. We can adjust if we have to a little bit, but I personally prefer to do it this way because then the inside and the outside of your house are gonna look good and cohesive. It really all depends on what you want to do, but we're gonna get to building on the inside of this house, and the first thing I recommend doing every single time is figuring out if you're going to be using stairs or ladders and where to put them. So obviously if you're only doing like a 1-story house, you're not gonna have to worry about this, but for me, I like to do 2 stories when doing like this kind of house. So I'm gonna need to figure out the placement of my stairs, which I think I'm gonna put mine over to the corner like this. Maybe we can do a double stair moment just to make it look a little bit nicer. And this is where we're gonna have to make sure that our windows aren't being clipped or anything like that. So I'm just gonna adjust mine a little bit. I know there's a skinnier window that I can work with here, so I'm gonna use that there. And now when I place my railing, we're not gonna have any kind of interference with our railings or our stairs. Everything is gonna look good with that. This is debatably the hardest part of figuring out a layout. That's why I recommend doing it first. Obviously, if you have a 1-story home, you don't have to worry about that, but figuring out the placement of your stairs is crucial in making a floor plan. All right, so once we've got that nice and close to our entrance, now we can start to figure out where the rest of our rooms are gonna go and how we wanna do the concept of the entire bottom floor. This is where we're gonna decide if we're gonna wanna do a more open concept, more modern kind of floor plan, or if you've built more of an older exterior, maybe you're gonna wanna do like a closed off floor plan. It really depends on the style of house that you wanna build. For me, I actually did a Trends of 2021 video on my channel a little while back, and in that video, I learned that with floor plans, more people are tending to go towards like a half and half, open but closed concept kind of build because people are working from home a little bit more. Maybe they'll have an office space that they want to be closed off. They've had their kids home a lot more, and maybe they're going to want to build a play area for their kids to go away from the communal spaces in the middle of the house. So I'm going to go for more of like a 2021 style floor plan with that. A lot of this has like pre-planning for your floor plans. Like think about how many Sims you're gonna have in this house because that's gonna dictate how many bedrooms you're gonna have, and that'll dictate how many bathrooms you're gonna wanna have. So for me, I'm gonna go for maybe a 2-bedroom house here. We're gonna do 2 kids, 2 parents in this house, and that's how I'm gonna play it with this layout. Okay, let's start to build the actual room. So for me, I like to keep this door space open. We're gonna keep in mind obviously where the front door is gonna be. So I like that to be open, maybe leading into like the living room or a communal area. So this portion here is all gonna be open for me. Since my stairs kinda made actually this little area for me, this is gonna be where I'm gonna put a bathroom for the downstairs. And when you're building rooms like bathrooms or anything that's gonna be on the smaller side, we need to keep in mind that we're gonna have to have all of the essentials in there and the space for us to be able to do that. So for me, I'm so used to making bathrooms at this point. I know that this will be sufficient enough for everything that I need, like toilets, bathtubs, whatever. But if you don't know, before you go any further, what you can do is just take the objects, put them in. You don't have to start to build your room or anything yet, but just put them in, see if they fit, and then move on, because it's going to be a whole lot easier to adjust in the beginning than it will be later on. So I've got all my essentials in there. I know it's going to fit before I even put a door or anything, but let's just put a door there to say that we've got one, basically. All right, so that room is figured out. I'd actually prefer my door to be closer to the stairs, so I'm just gonna adjust, and there we go. I already determined that this open part is gonna be my living room. I feel like generally it's a good place to put it, like near the entry. That means I'm probably gonna wanna connect my kitchen and my dining to the living room. This also depends on the kind of Sims that you're planning on hosting, and think about it in real life, like the kind of person that would maybe want more of an open concept kitchen and dining space. Maybe they prefer to host, and they want everyone to be close together, hence why they've got the dining, the kitchen, everything kind of close together for like social purposes. So if you think about it when you're building a house in The Sims, kind of like one in real life, and keep in mind the interests of the people that would want to live there, then it makes a lot more sense in the end. So what I'm doing here, I do want to keep it open concept, but I kind of prefer to open it up in this way. I personally don't like that really open concept look where everything is just jammed in one room, so I like to separate it while keeping it open with columns. You can also do this with archways, but I've gone in and used a snowy escape column here with the spandrel from Seasons. And the way to get it like not on the whole wall, you just are gonna press Alt. That'll keep it only on one tile. So if you don't want to go all the way across like I didn't, then that is how you're gonna do it. So this is gonna be my kitchen and dining space right beside the living room. And then in the back here, this is what I was talking about earlier, how I'm gonna have one space kind of separate off for work or a child's play area, a skill room in The Sims. It depends what you want. So for this area in the back, I'm gonna go and get the new industrial loft kit door. I really like this, especially for this kind of idea because it's got the sliding doors, which aren't functional in the game, but in real life, it would be really helpful. So this will be more of like a closed off base. Once we've got the downstairs figured out, so this is gonna be my general layout, kitchen and dining, living room, foyer area right there, bathroom and office or whatever we put back there. Now we're gonna do the lighting. And for lighting with the floor plans, again, I like to do this last, like after you figured out the floor plan. You're just gonna put them in all of the corners of the rooms. And if that's not enough, you can put it in the middle, but I personally think that takes care of that. And then same thing for this room here. Just put your lighting in all of the four corners. And if you wanted it to be brighter, you could put one in the middle. It really depends. So we're gonna do that for all of the rooms down here. And for the bathroom, I think I'll be okay with getting away just putting one right in the center there. So now this is gonna be our layout slash floor plan for this bottom floor. Then we go upstairs. Again, this is if you've done a 2-story house. If you haven't, a rule of thumb is gonna be to keep your bedrooms kind of away from any communal spaces, any place with like loud noises or where everyone likes to hang out. So if you had a living room, you could maybe do like a hallway leading down to their bedrooms kind of vibe. So upstairs, we're doing that same kind of concept where our bedrooms are gonna be on an entirely separate floor. It'll be more quiet. It just makes more sense like in real life. So we already determined earlier that we were going to have 4 Sims living here. So that means we're gonna need a master bedroom with a double bed. And this is where that spacing is gonna come into play as well. And what you can do to make sure, again, before having to readjust your room, I always like to go in and make sure that it'll fit with a double bed. Obviously, we have a lot of room in this particular room, but if you're going for a smaller build, this can be really helpful, making sure that you have enough room for both Sims to get in. Or if you're gonna push it against the wall, this will still be functional, but some actions might not work. So yeah, you're gonna have to figure out how that spacing is gonna go. I like to keep my bedrooms together, like right beside each other, using a hallway, which is what I've done with my stairs here. So this area, depending on how big you've made it, you could do like a living room, a study, a reading area, whatever. And I'm gonna separate this off and make another room. I prefer not to have my bathrooms longer like this, and this is gonna be another bathroom that I'm putting upstairs. So I'm actually going to section it off, and we're gonna delete this wall, holding Control, and I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger so that I don't have to deal with that like awkward long room space. We're gonna make sure we've got enough room for our doors, which I don't think we're gonna have a problem with in this entire build here, but just in case. And again, we're gonna go in with the 4 corners for our lighting. So with the lighting, I feel like I could make an entire video on like how to use lighting to set the mood in your house, but I personally like to go in with these saucer lights, and then depending on how the mood of the house is, if I want a certain room to be cozier, like a bedroom, I'll delete them later because I find this like white light in floor plans will make things obviously look brighter, bigger, but if you're gonna go for like a cozy vibe, obviously you're gonna want to use like lamp light, more of a warm toned light like this one here. It really all depends. So like later I might go in and delete these lights and just keep something like that. Generally, if you think of how a house is designed as well, when you go in with your flooring, it's probably going to be the same flooring in majority of the rooms, except for the bathroom, you're gonna want to go in with a tile. But for the main areas, hallways and stuff like this, even bedrooms, the majority of the flooring is gonna be the same. Then when you go in with your wallpaper, you could obviously change that up how you want. I tend to do mine differently depending on the room. So maybe the office room, you want to go a little bit darker. Maybe in the living room, you want it to be brighter. At this point, you can start to furnish, and this is where you're really gonna find out if you've done a proper floor plan or not. If you find that you're going in and you're trying to put down your furniture, like let's say I wanted to put a really big couch and it didn't fit, or I didn't like how it was sitting in the room, then you're gonna have to go in and adjust, and that's where it can get kind of tricky. That's why I recommend when you're actually building the rooms to test that out before you move on to the next one. If you're questioning, definitely go in and just place your couch and make sure that it fits, you like where it is, and then move on. A good tip that I can give also, and this is one that you guys actually have mentioned in the comments for me before, when I've been trying to get my layouts to be better in The Sims, is having a bathroom located in close proximity to your bedrooms. You're really gonna want to think of like the flow of how an actual house would be in real life versus in The Sims. So in real life, you're obviously gonna want to have a bathroom nice and close to your bedroom. Maybe it's connected in the bedroom like this. And another tip that seems kind of obvious to me, but doesn't really when you're first starting out to build floor plans in The Sims, is using communal spaces to lead into other rooms. Whether that means a living room, that could be the hallway of the upstairs here. Like obviously you're not gonna have your stairs leading upstairs into a bedroom immediately, especially if you're doing like a family house. You're not gonna want to have your doors in a bedroom leading into another bedroom unless you're going for like a wacky, quirky kind of build. Generally, you're gonna want to have each bedroom having their own door. Same as the bathrooms, you're not gonna want to have to go through a bathroom to get to another room. This stuff kind of just comes as basic floor plan logic, I guess. And obviously, you're not gonna want to have your house entering into like a bathroom or a bedroom unless you're doing a challenge, or I don't know, maybe you just want it to be like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna clutter this house. I'm basically just gonna show you where things would go. So I would personally put my kitchen back here. You got your oven there, and then all of our essentials are taken care of. Smoke detector, oven, fridge, and sink. I've also done a little island area, especially if we are thinking that these Sims like to host. And then this is where we could put a nice big table for dining. So tons of open space there. We're also, another essential is a trash can. You're gonna want to put a trash can in your kitchen as well. So there we go. We've got our dining area. Our kitchen is taken care of. We're gonna get our living room, which fits really nicely right in here. And again, a thing to remember with floor plans is I try and get my couch to not be like facing the front here or to be too close to the door. I like it when you walk in, you can see everything, it's open. Again, this is like in an ideal situation. Not every house you build is gonna end up like this, but ideally, you're gonna wanna walk in and see everything nice and open like that. And then we're gonna do our office space. Obviously, we're gonna have tons of room in here. We could even add bookshelves if we want, another skill item like an easel. There you go, bookshelf, skill item, office, doors can close. And obviously we've already got our bathroom layout. So upstairs for the hallway, you can basically add whatever you want in here. Maybe like, I don't know, another living area, a seating area, more of a quiet one. This bathroom can fit more stuff. So I'm probably gonna put a bathtub, a shower, literally everything in here. I like to go with more of a different kind of wallpaper for my bedroom sometimes. So I'm gonna use this one. This is what I was talking about earlier, how you might wanna make it a little bit cozy. So I'm gonna delete some lights, and we're gonna use more of like a warm toned lamp, or maybe even a candle, and then it's gonna get more of that like cozy, sleepy kind of vibe. Obviously, we're gonna want a dresser and like a mirror of some kind. Also, general rule is like try not to cover your windows. I mean, I personally didn't care until I started making YouTube content, but generally try not to cover your windows with like big items like dressers, fridges, bookshelves, all of that stuff. Try to avoid if you can, I guess. And then kids' rooms, I feel like you can literally just do whatever you want. Just make sure you got some toys in there and like a dresser and stuff, and you'll be fine. So yeah, I hope that was helpful for you guys. The number one thing that I always get asked on my streams or in my YouTube comments is how to build floor plans and layouts in The Sims 4 when building a house. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, definitely ask them in the comment section down below and I will try to help you out. But I think this covers the basics for building floor plans and layouts in The Sims 4. That's all I got for you guys. If you want to see more tutorial style videos from me, let me know what you're having trouble with and I'll try to help. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.